here for episode 2 of my series on the 1998 Major League Baseball season and the home run chase. So, episode 1, I talked about the background, setting the scene, why everyone thought this might be an historic season. And let's get into it. So the season began on March 31st, 1998. All eyes were on Mark McGwire and Ken Griffey Jr. Well, sure enough, both players hit a home run on opening day. McGwire did it in style with a grand slam. But they were outdone. Vinny Castilla of the Colorado Rockies actually hit 2 home runs at what was then Bank One Ballpark in the first game in franchise history for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he actually kept pace for a good chunk of the season. But the attention still stayed mainly on McGwire and Griffey. As the month progressed, they kept hitting home runs, and by the end of April, both McGwire and Griffey had 11 home runs. So there was general excitement, curiosity about, hey, this record, may not be so safe. Well, after 1 month, seeing 11 home runs, people began to do the math and extrapolate, and they said, okay, 1 month, 11 home runs. Well, a season is 6 months long. We're looking at a 66 home run pace, basically. And that got people's attention. And they kept up their pace. In fact, McGwire hit a bunch. He hit 16 more in May. And by the end of the month, he ended up with 27 home runs. And found himself with a little bit of a lead. But he wasn't alone. He was one of 5 players with 20 or more home runs, and that surprised a lot of people. McGwire, he was kind of the big name. Griffey was right behind him, also expected. But his teammate, Alex Rodriguez, he had more than 20. So did Vinny Castilla. He had kept pace. So did Andres Galarraga of the Atlanta Braves. So all 5 were viewed as serious contenders to break Roger Maris's record. You might be asking yourself, well, I remember this being about Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. Where is Sosa in all of this? Well, at the end of May, Sammy Sosa had 13 home runs. That's not a terrible total, but that's not a pace that's gonna get people's attention when we're talking about breaking records. So, if you look at the numbers, it's at this point that Sosa really takes off. In fact, he hit from June 1st to the end of the season, he had 10 more home runs than Mark McGwire did. That's just something that I learned when putting this video together. I had no idea. The first 2 months, McGwire just built such a lead that Sosa never could catch him. But Sammy left his mark, particularly the month of June. He went from 13 home runs all the way up to 33 home runs. In 30 days, he hit 20 home runs, which is crazy. And sure enough, that is a major league record for home runs by a player in any month. So what we're looking at is the end of June. Attention had kind of shifted a little bit away from Ken Griffey Jr. towards Sammy Sosa, partially because he had that monster month. So McGwire had 37 home runs. His pace slowed down, especially compared to May. He had 10 home runs in June to get that to his 37 total. Sammy Sosa, after his 20, he had 33. At that point, it became a little more centered on those two. And the Cardinals-Cubs rivalry kind of added a little bit to that. But Griffey was still viewed as a serious contender. In fact, excitement was building for all 3 of them to perhaps be in one of the most epic home run derbies of all time. I'm going to talk about that in episode 3. Along with the second half of the Major League Baseball season and this home run chase. If you want to follow the rest of this series, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in episode 3.